welcome back, JDC family. Welcome back. My name is Jay. This is my Diecast Creations channel, and today we're entering into the Devil's Derby, which is put on by Jamie Lambert over at Devils Details Diecast. So we start off with a 1970 Chevelle SS Wagon, and I wanted to have fun with this one, guys. Most of you that follow me know that I already built a car, and it turned out to be for another reason. So I decided to do a wagon. I haven't put a wagon on the channel yet, and I always liked the wagons in the demolition derbies when I grew up. So it was an opportunity to have fun with a build, and I have fun with all my builds, but some more than others, and I really enjoyed building this car. So I'm excited to show you guys what happened and, bring a little bit of joy to the community, right? So basically we start out with drilling out the post, and I didn't realize, you'll see right here, I didn't realize it was a clip like on the back where it just slides in. So that makes it a lot easier. You don't have to drill out two posts, you just got to drill out one, and it's a lot easier to mock it back up and see what's going on when you instead of having to clip in two posts and then detach them all or whatever. So we drill it out, and now I take my little pick tool that I've bent up doing this. I have a few different ones, but I basically use one at a time until it's completely mangled, and then I grab another one. But I use that to pry it open. We take it apart. We see what we got. The glass ends up, thrown to the side because we're not going to need that on this. It's a demolition derby car, and most of these guys use chain link fence. So we get in there with the pick. We get the tires off. I wanted to replicate what I did on the other car, but I didn't want it to be so drastic. So I gave it a negative rake. The front sits up a little higher than the rear. But it's not like super jacked. You'll see coming up. And this is the blown up view, just the pieces of the puzzle. We throw the casting in the citrus strip, which is the stripper that I use, that I think works great. It doesn't smell bad, and it's very thorough with the paint. It takes most of it off. So I started saving my interiors, so I just labeled this, and this way if down the road I end up doing another Chevelle wagon, and I need a clear piece, even though it's scratched up, we could try to clean it. Realize that Hot Wheels puts different colored windows in cars, so I start saving them and marking them if I don't use them in the build, right? So now we just go to work on the modifications that we need to make this thing derby ready and pass tech inspection, because there was a set of rules that we needed to follow. So one of the rules was you need a 12 by 12 hole in the hood, but your exhaust holes count for that point on the inspection sheet, right? So we decided to, instead of putting 4 pipes coming out, we decided to just put 2, which would be like a collector off of the headers. And it's a realistic thing that derby drivers do. Some of them run straight four pipes off the motor, and some of them put them into one big collector that sticks out of the hood. So we decided to use our artistic, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever, we did what we wanted, and we made it happen. So now I'm just going to make a little bit of a modification, cut the grill off with the Dremel. It was a nice day out, so, I don't like to do this inside because it makes the plastic, when you burn it with the Dremel, it smells really bad. And I don't like to have that in the house, It's just something that if I can go outside and do things, then I do, I tried to show a little bit more of the process on this one, but I did lose some of the footage. So, I'm just going to make the best of what I have here and explain to you guys what I did. So, I basically put that negative rake in. So what I did was I reamed out a channel on the bottom of the car in the front, basically just cut off the tabs, and I put on a piece of axle tubing that you can see here. I try to square it up as good as possible. I don't have a jig for this, and I'm not racing cars, so they don't need to be perfectly straight, but I try to mock it up as good as I can. I think it might be off a little tiny bit, but it is what it is for the purpose of this demolition derby build off. The car doesn't have to be perfect. Some of these cars go out there missing pieces, broken bent tie rods, and ball joints falling out. None of that matters. They go out there to have fun. So this is the exhaust ports that we put together. It's just a piece of plastic that you find on a bread that closes the bread. I cut it up into squares, and then I took some polystyrene tubing and square stock, and this right here is going to be the gas tank. So I cut pieces of the bread holder and closed up the square stock and made the bases for the exhaust. And then this is going to be the battery. So we just took a piece of a solid square stock, and I took a little tiny piece of metal and tried to glue them in there. And they're not perfectly straight, but it is what it is. You're not even going to see it. It's inside the car, but for tech purposes, I followed the rules, right? So then we spray it with a black primer, and I did a little bit of detail markings on the seats and the steering wheel and the shifter, and a little bit of gauge cluster there. And I glued a gas tank in the back. We put a little bit of straps on there. The battery's in the front passenger seat. And then I detailed the bottom of the car a little bit, even though you're not going to see it. I like to know that it's done, and it's just a little bit of more effort that I put into it, right? It takes a couple minutes, and it makes me happy when I flip the car over and see that. So now I tried to freehand my logo on there. I do have some decals coming, but they're not going to make it in time. So tried to freehand the logo on there, and I put the car back together, and I'm looking at it, and it's just like, this is cheesy. It's cheap. There's nothing to it. The demolition derby cars, and some guys go out there with just a number, but it's to put on a show. You want to go out there and have fun, and try to get the People's Choice Award, right? And who's gonna vote on a white car? So we end up mixing it up a little bit. Because my girl actually told me, she's like, dude, I love you, but you're not good at this. The detailing as far as the letters go. So I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. There's no sugarcoating it, but I change it up, right? So we take some screen from windows in the house, and I just glued it on the outside here because I was looking at some pictures, and a lot of these derby drivers, they just attach a piece of fence to the outside of the car, right? This way, like, if they get hit and something crumbles, the thing doesn't poke through, right? It doesn't come into the interior. So that was cool. And then I had these stickers from the Dollar Tree. It was just a sticker set of emojis, right? So I decided to have some fun with it. So I took four of these different emojis, and I stuck them on the car, and I'm like, yeah, this kind of looks cool. And my girl's like, yo, that looks like a bull on the front of the car. And it wasn't meant to be that, but I ended up making it happen because she had a really good idea, and you'll see what it was in a second. So this is the car that we started with. It's a 1970 Chevelle SS Wagon, and it was the victim of the Devils Details Derby for Devils Details Diecast, and I think we did a pretty good job of transforming this wagon into a battle-ready demolition derby car, ready to go toe-to-toe with the rest of the competitors, and try to get the prize, right? The final prize, the top dog, last man standing. I think there's prizes for second and third in this, but he's doing a really cool job of mixing it up and doing a random number generator, I believe, where random people get knocked out in rounds. So if you happen to be the lucky one to finish the demo and make it to the last round, you end up in the prizes. And I think he's got a cool trophy and maybe some other stuff. I'm not sure. But basically what I was talking about, my girl's idea was to add that ring at the front to make it look like a bull, right? And I think that gives it a nice touch. I went in with a paintbrush and did a stippling effect for the 4 or 5 different colors that I used, and basically made it look like kids were allowed into the pits. And this was kind of my brother's idea after I had done this. He said, yo, that looks like what they used to do when we were kids. And it made sense. So that's what we're going to go with. The driver allowed the kids into his pit stall, and they put their hand in the paint and put it on the car, you know. And that's something that, you know, back in the 90s, I should say, because I was, you know, when I was like 6 or 7, that's probably when it happened. That's something that had happened, you know. There was drivers that would get the kids involved, and, you know, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. At the end of the day, if we don't provide a fun experience for the kids coming up, you know, they lose interest, and racing and stuff like this goes out the window. So I was really excited to build this car, and I had a really good time. I don't care if I win or not, you know. It was a pleasure to participate on this build. And anybody that didn't see the first demo car I watched, please go check it out, because that one meant the world to me. It was in honor of my favorite demolition derby driver growing up, and I'm actually going to be meeting up with Long John Silver here at the end of this month sometime to deliver the tribute car that I made for him, which is awesome because I haven't seen him in probably over 25 years. And I actually, you know, I met him when I was like 6 years old. So, you know, it'll be cool to meet up with him and talk some derby stuff and give him the honor of building that car. So, basically that's it, guys. These are just some glamour shots of the finished product, and I believe April 11th is the announcement of who won and who didn't, and where this car ends up, whether it ends up in the trash or on the trailer with a trophy on top. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.